Hey folks, Dr. Mosier here, and I have a question for you. If you look good, if you feel good, are you necessarily healthy? And unfortunately, the answer is no, but so many of us have friends or family members who unfortunately they've had cancer or stroke or heart attack and days leading up to that they looked good, they felt good, they were thriving in life, and then all of a sudden something happened. And so the issue with our healthcare system today is that we just focus on the symptoms. That's all that matters. Who cares? If you have a symptom, we have a pill, we have a potion, we have a lotion for any of your ailments. And we never look underneath the hood. We never check the engine, right? Because symptoms is just really a check engine light. It's just saying, hey, there's an issue here. And let's think about this. Not all symptoms are bad, right? And so let's use an example. You get really dressed up, you're ready to paint the town, and you're going to go to the nicest restaurant in Washington County. So we all meet up at the local Taco Bell. And let's just say the food wasn't prepared right, and are we even eating real food at a fast food restaurant? And of course, the answer is no, and we all know that. And so you get, sick, you get food poisoning, whatever, and then you end up not painting that town. You go home and you're purging, you're getting all that waste out via vomiting. And so those symptoms are unpleasant. They're not fun. They're not an enjoyable experience. However, are they good? Would you want that tainted food sitting in your stomach and percolating and then getting it absorbed and into your bloodstream? Well, of course not. You want to get that out of you, get that rid of that. Okay. And so sometimes the symptoms are what we need to know what to do next. When it comes to our spine, we have symptoms, we have pain that can be signaling other things, right? And so, for instance, Ellen had what originally got me into chiropractic was she had migraines, and it was painful. It was painful to watch her suffer with these migraines. And when we went to the chiropractor, he checked the x-rays, he did his leg length analysis, he did what he needed to do as a chiropractor. And he also gave us recommendations, but we asked the question, how did we get here? And then so many of you asked the question, well, how did I go from this side of the train tracks to all the way over here where I have elevated blood pressure, or I have all these headaches, or my low back disc is about to blow out and I can't stand it. I can barely function. I can't pick up my kids anymore, or my grandkids, let alone. And so how did we get here? And so what he taught us, and I want to teach you guys, is the 3 T's: trauma, toxins, and thoughts. And so trauma, for instance, he gave the example with Ellen that she was an avid violinist. And so she had her head in a cocked position and she would practice for hours and hours. Okay. Something that could apply to you guys is you're on your phone a whole bunch and you're texting. And so you develop what we call that quote unquote text neck, or you have a weird posture where you're always, you're a semi truck driver and you have to look to the right and make sure you're backing up. That may not apply to a truck driver, or a tractor, and you're making sure that all your crops are in line. Whatever your profession is, you can kind of apply this principle. There's a postural issue. So those are what we consider micro traumas. Now, a major trauma, of course, would be, falling out of the treehouse as a kid and landing on your head. Or you could have things like car accidents. These major traumas, these major injuries can distort the spine, leading to other neurological issues. Okay. And then toxins, number 2, would be the food we eat, the air we breathe. And so that has a direct effect of bombardment, causing more and more inflammation in our bodies and leading to more spinal distortions. If we move to the third, which is the most interesting, to me at least, is thoughts and how we think about ourselves, how we think about our friendships, our relationships, um, romantically, non-romantically, just how we view life in general can directly affect our stress levels and how we perceive stress, but also what happens neurologically or even biochemically in our bodies. Because when we're overly stressed, chronically stressed, you have an increase of cortisol levels that can cause more breakdown in the ligaments and tendons, which then alters the integrity of our spine, leading to more subluxations, misalignments. So it's kind of a very vicious cycle our mind can be if not addressed appropriately. And so symptoms are not necessarily bad. They're just a alert system to something bigger that needs to be fixed, that needs to be addressed, and not just covered up or masked with pills, potions, and lotions. So I hope this was helpful. I hope it was informative. As always, I love you guys, and I look forward to seeing you soon.